Hello, my name is Sarah Bostic, and I'm the University of Florida's Sustainable Agriculture Agent right here in Sarasota County. And today I want to talk about weeding and thinning carrots. Weeding and thinning carrots can be a really tricky thing to learn how to do. Carrots grow much more slowly than weeds, and so they very quickly disappear into weeds. So this bed that we're standing in front of, or kneeling in front of right now, we planted from seed about 3 weeks ago. And earlier today, I started the process of weeding some of this row right here. I weeded out earlier today, and this one I did a little bit of weeding. But about an hour ago, this whole area looked just like this. This is a lot of weeds. It's so hard to see what's a carrot and what's a weed in this bed. So just to give you the lay of the land as to what's happening in this bed, there's actually 6 rows of carrots. There's one here, 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 and here. And when this was all covered in weeds, you couldn't tell that there were rows of carrots at all. So ideally, I would have weeded this bed about a week ago, before the weeds really got bigger than the carrots. But I would definitely suggest that you wait for a week or two before you start weeding carrots, because when carrots are really small, they tend to look a little bit like grass, which is one of the common weeds that you find in a carrot bed. So I'm going to show you a little bit of how to weed a carrot. First thing I do is try to figure out about where the row is, and then I pull the weeds back from around it, just so you can see a little bit better what's going on. So with some of those weeds pulled back, now you can start to get an idea that there is a row here. So carrots are very, very loosely rooted. That long, narrow taproot that we eat, that orange carrot, that's the whole root of the carrot. And so it's really easy to uproot a carrot. So you want to make sure when you're weeding that you know exactly where the carrots are. So, for example, here's some carrots right here, and here's some weeds. So that I don't actually accidentally pull out the carrots with the weeds, I push the carrots gently to the side and hold them gently while I pull weeds out with my other hand. And you can start seeing carrots appear. And they're delicate, but you can move them around if you need to. Okay, so now we have part of a row of carrots that has appeared. And I want to show you quickly right here. This right here is grass. And this is very similar to what carrots look like when they first germinate. And we'll use this carrot right here as an example. This is a single carrot plant right here. And do you see right here? That looks a whole lot like grass. That was the first leaf that emerged on that carrot. And that's one of the reasons that it's a good idea to wait until the carrots are about 2 or 3 weeks old before you weed them if you're unfamiliar with the difference between grass and carrot seedlings. So we're keeping this one because it's a carrot, but this one right here, we're going to go ahead and pull out because that's a grass. And you can even see when you pull it out, it has lots of delicate little roots at the bottom. That is not what a carrot looks like. A carrot is just one long, thin string of root. So some of these carrots were planted very, very close together. And a carrot, the kind of carrot that you grow or that you buy in a grocery store, is generally about 1 inch around. This ruler is very hard to see, but where my thumb is, that's 1 inch right there. So that's about the diameter of a regular grocery store or farmer's market carrot. So that means that we want about 1 inch of space for each carrot. And let's see, so if we don't thin them out, that's okay. A lot of people get a little nervous about thinning your carrots out. So if you don't thin your carrots out and they're growing more closely than an inch apart each, your carrots will simply just be kind of thin and oddly shaped. They'll taste just as good, but you just won't get, they won't look quite like they do at the grocery store. So Using this as an example right here, you can see there's about 3 carrots in an inch. So we could leave that. We would just get smaller, thinner carrots. But if we want good grocery store size carrots, I can show you how to thin those out. So I just take a pair of scissors, something like this, or those very thin pointed hair cutting scissors work really well. And this clump right here, it's very easy to decide which carrot to cut out. Just cut the one in the middle out. You just snip it right at the base. And so now those carrots are perfectly spaced at an inch apart. And the reason that I am cutting the carrots instead of pulling them when I weed them out or when I thin them is because those roots are so thin that if you just pull, sometimes you can actually damage the roots of the carrots that you want to keep. So it works better to just give them a snip when they're growing closely together. And then let's do a second example right here. This is a clump of carrots. I think there's about 8 carrots in this 1 inch clump right there. Say that's about 1 inch, and that's about 8 carrots. Those would be very small spindly carrots if we left them. So I like to try to figure out which are the healthiest, largest looking carrots, and then I snip out the rest. So it looks like this carrot actually was just leaning, so we can keep this one. And then we want to take out some in the middle. So I'm just going to take a few of these in the middle and snip. So you can already see there's a lot more space in there for those carrots. That's a small carrot. That one's not going to produce very well, so I'll cut that one out. Those are growing very close together. Okay, so now we've got 3 carrots spread out over about 2 inches, and each of those should grow into a big healthy carrot. And let's see, we cut out about 5 carrots to make space for 3. And that's how you thin and weed carrots.